All right. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, that coffee's kind of hot. I swear the Yeti makes it hotter than when you first make it.
I don't use them when I'm going to be at home for that reason, because I feel like I'm still going to burn myself for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just boiling in there.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, I'll wait for a few more folks to trickle in, but really excited for our guest today, Tauri. She actually ran the MO track for SKU last year, and she is just an amazing human being. So excited for you all to get to know her.
How many are we expecting this morning, Katrina?
Probably around 20.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's 22 people in the cohort. All right. Well, we can go ahead and get started on a couple of announcements. So I dropped in the Slack channel yesterday some events that we have going on. So today we have a happy hour at Central Machine Works at 4:30. Carbon Better, our partner, is going to be giving out drink tickets as a sustainable brands happy hour. That should be a good time. And then next week, I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday, we have a state of fundraising call on Wednesday at 11 a.m. for all the folks that are getting ready to do that. That'll be a good one to hop onto. And then our big event is May 3rd, the Naturally Austin birthday party, which is going to be the biggest industry event regionally since 2019, because now we can put hundreds of people in a room. Super excited for that.
I'm going to get my ticket for that. I'm going to sign up for it right now.
You better. I was going to make you anyway. All right. So I guess if we're a smaller group today, Tauri, we can do a quick round of intro so that you just kind of generally know who's in the room. So McKenna, I'm going to start with you, and you can popcorn around and call in the next person.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm McKenna as part of Hempress Hygienics, and we're making the first 100% hemp-based tampon pads and liners. Super happy to be here. I have my coffee too that I also burned my mouth on, so we're on the same page, Katrina. And I'll hop in to meet my business partner.
Remind me, McKenna, I have a brand that you can partner with.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, next.
Could you hear the popcorn there?
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Marilyn. I'm the other half of Hempress. And so like McKenna said, we're doing hemp menstrual care. And yeah, I'll popcorn to, let me look, Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie. I am the founder of Brology, also in the menstrual care space. We make a sustainable period underwear made of trees.
Love it.
Yeah, so I'll call out Bindu.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name's Bindu. I'm the owner of Bindu Bites. I currently make Nepalese dumplings. And I also do 2 kinds of sauces that go with them, but they're versatile. I quit my full-time job last year, so I still do part-time accounting here and there, and still trying to manage this business sanely somehow. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Awesome. Good morning. You said dumpling, and I was like, ooh, what's that taste like?
Shubra, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Shubra. I'm the CEO and founder of Kriya Hair, and we make ingredient and science-based hair care that's good for the body. And it's a formula that I found in my late father's diary.
Oh, amazing. What a good story. Okay.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
IRP.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is RP. I am the founder of Body Bar. We are resetting the bar by providing a new line of paleo certified protein bars. So we've taken your average protein bar, cleaned it up a lot, and are providing it to the world. So thank you. Happy to be here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Madhu.
And I pop it to, let's see who hasn't gone. Sorry. Trisha?
Good morning. I'm having trouble hearing everybody. I don't know why. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm Trisha Leslie. I own Yellow Botanicals, a natural esthetician grade CBDA skincare line.
Awesome.
And I do everything myself. And I'm an esthetician, so I use all of the products on my clients as well. And that's how I buy my ingredients. So I haven't paid myself in a while, but all the money goes back into Yellow. So I am here.
Okay, Madhu.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Madhu, and I'm the founder of a brand called Kimbala. We make chai that is very authentic with fresh ingredients. Everything is made here in Austin. And we supply to the local restaurants, coffee shops, Royal Blue, Tom's Market, and so forth, as well as we ship DTC online. So this is chai that's made fresh, tastes like a quick trip to India, and without any preservatives and shelf stabilizers.
Or appropriation. Yay! Sorry, y'all, I'm real political. It's real early in the morning for that, but it's what I am, so.
Everyone hold on.
Yes. Let's see.
Brittany, why don't you go next?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we saying? Just a bit about our
Just
brand?
a quick intro. Yeah, quick intro so that Tauri knows who she's talking to.
Got you. Hi, I'm Tauri. I'm Brittany, founder of Buttered Body Care. We're a sustainable, clean beauty brand dedicated to those of color with skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis. And I started about a year and a half ago, so really excited to be a part of this opportunity for sure. And we're 100% D2C right now. I just got my first wholesaler though last week, so a bit of a mix, but yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you.
Oh, and we have
And
Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara.
Yeah, Kamara. Yeah. Hi.
Not
Hi,
Tamara.
everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Kamara Samuel. I'm with Dadly Naturals. I am the co-founder and lead formulator for the brand. With Dadly Naturals is a Caribbean-inspired lifestyle brand that's all about bringing nature-based solutions to your everyday life. So what this means is we sell a bit of different things, from wellness products like our sea moss gel, which is kind of like a Caribbean superfood, all the way to kind of shea butter based products that are more focused on personal care and beauty. So we have items like our natural deodorant, which I came up with because other natural deodorants weren't working for me. I was smelling like green onions. So formulated a better solution. And so it's just all about using, natural ingredients, avoiding fragrances, using essential oils as much as possible, and formulating them in a way where they can have the same level of impact that non-natural products typically have.
Very cool. What a great group.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
I think we got everyone. So just a quick reminder, Brew Crew is just an opportunity for all of us to connect with people in the community and to help you get to know your resources and just hear cool stories, right? So Tori's one of those very cool people. So Tori, let's dive into your story. Who are you?
Okay, I'm like, in a nutshell, there's not one. I am a small business owner. I'm one of the co-owners of Cold Town Theater here locally in Austin. So I'm an improviser and comedian. I've been doing that for 15 years of my life. And then during the pandemic, I decided to use my old 401k and drop it into the never lucrative business of theater ownership. that's what I do on the sort of, that's my second job for, I guess it was a million years ago, which is funny because I'm only 25. I have a background in marketing, and while running digital at a traditional ad agency in Dallas, had the opportunity to work on a number of beauty brands, as well as Dillard's, the department store, if you still go to malls and remember.
Dillard's.
I know, right? I was working on Dillard's beauty brands, as well as a number of, I worked on like Fantastic Sam's and a bunch of like hair cuttery sort of like those sorts of places, and just loved kind of getting back to beauty because in college I worked at the Mac store, so I was one of those people, and connecting what I loved from a marketing perspective with beauty was super invigorating to me. Just at that point where I was starting to sort of hate going to work every day, that gave me life. But then I realized that the agency side is not actually a life, like you will die there very quickly and very young. And had the opportunity to jump to the client side and went to work for Unilever, running everything consumer facing for the Tony and Guy or TG hair care brand. So Bedhead, Catwalk, and like 6 other hair care brands, as well as TG Cosmetics. I worked on the reformulation of TG Cosmetics. It was just big enough to have the money to do the things you wanted to do, but small enough to where you had to do it all by yourself. So when I say I got to work on the reformulation of TG Cosmetics, there were 3 of us who worked on the reformulation and rebrand of the entire 283 products, I think it was. But it was also the kind of place where you were like, I'd go, oh, I think, wouldn't it be cool if our salespeople had an app that they could sell through? And my boss was like, that sounds great. Why don't you build it and teach them how to use it? And I was like, wait, that is not my job. And he was like, yep, but nobody else knows how to do it. Congratulations. And so it was just entrepreneurial enough that I could do anything that I wanted to do and get to really be able to follow it through. And when I say I did everything consumer facing, I did ad buys, I did the lifestyle integration. So with Catwalk, we integrated with fashion. So I did Fashion Week in 3 cities in North America, and then a couple in South America. And every once and again, I got to go to Paris, and that was real fancy and highfalutin, except for the fact that I had 60 pounds of hairspray in a rolling luggage bag. So it wasn't really that fancy. And I was wearing sneakers. So, you know, I digress. But I got to do everything like that and really understand what building a lifestyle brand meant, and how to create spaces where people understood the connection of a lifestyle brand. And that was really key in that position. Then I had 2 kids in 13 months. I don't suggest it. It's just like, give yourself time. It's not a good idea, not for your body, not for your mind. They're amazing, but they're at school right now, which is why I can have this conversation. So I took some time off and I worked for a number of beauty startups, and I worked for 4 startups and took them from formulation or a logo. I had one that just had a logo, to market, and kind of lived that lifestyle and life cycle until I found SKU and became an equity mentor for a number of rounds at SKU. And I'm really good friends with Michelle over at SKU during my hair care time. I literally met her on my first day. And it was funny because I was the client and she was selling me. And then she talked me into doing SKU, and I got the chance to be a really great friend of hers. We had a great time, but I was always going like, these rooms are really great and really, really palm colored and really, really not like, they're just no diversity whatsoever. Like really even searching to have women in the room, let alone people of color and women, and very little intersectionality. And I just kind of got to this part where I was like, I really want to help people that are like me. And we had the opportunity to work on MO last year, and it was such a breath of fresh air to get to bring all of those resources to people who have less access, and to rooms where it's a harder, it's simply harder. I should also say, with my theater background, I've been doing corporate trainings and corporate teachings. And one of the things that I've been teaching for the last 8 years is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I really am very genuinely connected to and very deeply connected to social justice. And it was awesome to be able to bring that to spaces where people are building businesses. I should also say, like, I stan anybody who is building a business. Like, I love it. I love the fact that you are seeking to do the hard thing. I think we have a whole society of people who are like doing the easy thing and wondering why their lives aren't fulfilling. And it's because they never do the hard thing and they never follow the burn in your belly you have to just be exhausted and not pay yourself. Who said that? I think it was Trisha who said, like, I'm just not paying myself because I'm pouring it all into my business. Like, there's a incredible lack of stability you choose in your life when you choose to build a business. And I am so consistently in awe of that. So last summer, I had the opportunity, as MO ended, to, I was offered a position at Andreessen Horowitz, which is a really tiny little venture capital firm. If you look it up, they invested in Facebook. My boss made a bunch of money because he invested in Pinterest, if you've never heard of that. They were early investors in Lyft and just about everything else we use day to day. So I literally now get to manage a program that is very well funded and for a company that believes in the cause and is happy to do the things that it takes to help accelerate businesses and really push founders forward. All of that is to say, I'm busy, but I love, love, love helping people. And I'm super pumped to be here this morning. So you can ask me all of the things because I've dealt with a lot of it and I've mentored, I haven't counted, but I would probably figure at least 50 businesses. I'm also consistently having meetings with people from both venture to partners that are looking for how to work with businesses like yours. I also have all those stories of small businesses who are like carving out their way and figuring out how to do amazing things. So that's it. How's that, Katrina?
Yeah, just real short and sweet.
Yeah, not concise.
Yeah, Tori and I really just had a great time working together this past year. So, we really tried to stay in each other's orbit. So I think one of the things I wanted to touch on, I've had separate conversations with lots of you as well as, alumni from last year. And at this stage and this early in the program, and you guys are just getting ready to be paired with mentors or, that just happened, right? So one of the things that I just, Tori, you've mentored so many companies, you've advised so many people. And the Austin community, and not just Austin, really, I think that the ecosystem of support as when you're founders, and we all are keeping an eye on you in the sense that we're all here to support you. So we also share notes and resources about you. So how you show up to these programs is incredibly important. So as an example, for everyone that applied to SKU, for example, of course, Michelle called and said, how are these people showing up to these classes, right? So at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest pieces of advice that we can give you is that people invest in people that invest in themselves. So you have to show up. So Tori, what does showing up look like when you're advising at this early stage, right? So everything feels really urgent. So what would you share here?
I think the thing that I really look for and appreciate is I want a founder who is transparent. Be truthful. Sometimes we get people that are like that want to put their best face forward, right? Because we've been taught that that's what we're supposed to do. A level of transparency where you can say, these are like, be real about what you don't know. These are the places where I need help. These are the things that feel sticky or uncomfortable for me. If it's sticky and uncomfortable, then you can be truthful with yourself that that is a place where you don't know everything 100%. And even if you know everything 100%, somebody else's 100% is way better than your 100%, right? Because they may have had more experience, they may have been more taught, they may have simply done it more times, right? Like there's always a better piano player. I'm gonna stick with music references today because yesterday I tried sports ones and I don't like sports. So that just is what it is. So there's always a better piano player, right? There's always somebody who's got more dexterity. There's always somebody who has a more talented ear, right? So there's always somebody that you can learn from. Find the space in yourself to be humble, to accept all of the information, right? Now, with that, I'll also say that like, come happy, come with your best self. I literally yesterday was talking with one of the general partners of Andreessen, who wrote the book on fundraising, and Tristan Walker with Bevel Razors, if you've ever heard of them. He said, oh, we didn't invest because we thought, wow, we're going to make $1 billion in razors, which also I work with people that like see their investment returns in billions, and that is always bananas to me. Side note. But he said, we knew this was a founder that would build multiple companies that would take us so far. And we wanted to go on that journey with him. Did they make $1 billion on Bevel? No. Did he have a lot to learn when he had Bevel? Absolutely. But he was somebody that they were excited to work with. And so everybody you're around is an opportunity for you to meet the right people, because your network isn't just the people you meet, it's the 20 people they know. And it's Katrina going, hey, Tauri, I have a lot of people in my cohort that are beauty related. I want you to come talk to them. And these are the ones. Now, if y'all are food, don't worry, I still got resources for you too, because now I'm just in a place where resources get thrown at me, which is also crazy, but I digress. But it's like Katrina saying like, ooh, they're awesome, you got to talk to them. And just being on the call and being like, oh, we have multiple fem care products. I'm working on a fem care product now. Like, let's absolutely have you connect, because she's in Rite Aid all over the country, right? But also that's a great opportunity for you just to like meet and commiserate about what it is to be in fem care right now, right? It's knowing that every person is the opportunity for another 20 people, right? And being able to know that, but bringing your best self every day. So that takes me back to, how do you show up and be your best self every day? Do what it takes to put on your best face, and just recognize that like, this is a part of the business too, right? I was literally laying in bed an hour ago going like, okay, but you find the part of yourself that is like, this is what you like, you are doing the hard thing, right? We've established that this is what you want to do. Showing up as your best self and finding the way to be humble, to be pleasant, to be excited about what you do is going to bring the energy that's going to want people to keep working with you. Did I say it? Did I answer the question? I feel like I said it.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the part that we don't talk about openly sometimes in these programs, is the personal aspect, because sometimes, you know, as a founder, and I've been a founder many times myself, sometimes you want resources to show up exactly the way that you think they should, right? Because you are, you know, you want to connect with someone that's an expert in this, and that's the thing that you're super focused on. But you may not know what else they have to offer you. So yes, the pairings that we have done with you are very specific to the needs that you have, but simultaneously, these are groups of people that can really open up the world to you as well. And so I just want to really encourage this group to be really open to that. And there's a lot of resources here. So I think Tori, the other question that I have for you is, as far as beauty goes, you know, the beauty community is pretty fragmented. And I know that we've already talked with Michelle about her beauty group. So as far as plugging into additional resources for beauty, what would you recommend? Where should people go? What kinds of things should people be doing?
I would use so I heard this, this is a tip from somebody in my current cohort. What she does is she looks at, if there's a founder that she's like, wow, they're really cool, I want to connect with them. She looks at like across their social media, and she looks at the social media that is least developed. So she's like, oh, they have 75,000 followers on Instagram. They can't check all their messages. But on Facebook, they are rarely there, but on Twitter, they have no followers. So she goes and starts just following them on Twitter and liking their tweets. And then after a week or so, she reaches out. And she's like, hey, I love your Instagram. You have an amazing community. How'd you build that? And when they give her that answer, she's like, here's my brand. We should partner and do something. Because Twitter is the place where they clearly are trying to build, but nobody is following them there. So that's where she chooses to reach out. One, reach out to people. Every founder has been exactly where you are right now. And most people, you'll find that the people that don't respond aren't worth your time, right? So like the people that are scared of you because there's competition, that's their own, like, it's early in the morning, but I'm gonna say curse words, y'all. That's their own bullshit to deal with. Like, let them deal with that. Make those connections and just literally just reach out to people. And it's, hey, I'd love to partner. It's, hey, I see that you're here. Like, how did you get into that location? Or I'm recognizing how you've grown through retailers. What was your strategy with that? So one, absolutely plug into Beauty ATX. One of the founders there is Shannon Davenport, the owner of Esker Beauty. She started in a number of retailers because she had those connections with those retailers. Well, she's just now going into like Blue Mercury, and she was in, I guess now it's like she was in Sephora, I'm sorry, not Sephora, Anthropologie Online for 5 years before she grew to the retail locations. Talk to her about why she took the time to do that. Because a lot of brands, I talked to a lot of brands who were like, oh, we want to be in Anthropologie this year, and then next year we want to be in Target, and then the year after that. And I'm like, boo, when do you want to fall out? Like, you're literally just going to kill yourself, because the amount of time and money it's going to take to scale to that point, and everybody wants to be in Target, I know. But Target will kill you as a person and as a brand very quickly. So talk to some other founders about that. Just simply reaching out. Like, everybody has a LinkedIn. Say something how many people get like those just the follows on LinkedIn? They just want to connect with you, and then you've never heard anything. Exactly. So it's literally, hey, I own a brand. I'd love to connect with you. Offer to buy people coffee. You know, there are people here in Austin. It's, hey, would you go to coffee with me? Which I will always go to coffee with anybody. But do those.
We can do a group. We can do a group coffee. Brittany had a question about Target. Brittany, I'm actually going to be bringing in Alana Hingston from Target to talk to you guys, and she will do a much deeper dive on Target, and she will give you all the behind the scenes things. And you'll be surprised. She'll actually tell you not to.
Yeah.
As she's working with Target, because at this stage, and she's going to tell you all the costs that are going to come along the way that you're not aware of, because she wants you to be ready. But she is also running the Target Accelerator programs. So she's a great resource. I'll be bringing her in a little bit later.
But I would, and to give you my point of view, you're going to, as a brand that nobody is aware of outside of a small area, Target's not going to give you the benefit of being like, hey, we're going to give you the 5 stores in your area, the way that like Whole Foods will, right? Like Whole Foods will make it real easy for you by allowing you to do regional stores, or like you could do HEB where you could literally drive to all of the places, right? Great. I don't know if y'all have walked down the beauty aisle at HEB. It's banging. I can get my whole face at HEB now. Like, they came way up. You don't have to support them with a national ad buy the way that you might have to do with Target. So most let me give you this as a reference point. In order to get TikTok has a small business creators program, like a promo where you can get some free ads. They want you to spend $50,000 in ads per month in order to get their program. Exactly. Like, exactly, McKenna. That's their threshold for a small business. And honestly, I would tell you that's the minimum that you would need to spend to get return nationally on TikTok for a product that you had in Target. That's my old media buyer hat, right? So if I was telling you like quick, fast, dirty numbers on supporting a national ad buy to support in Target for a launch, I would probably tell you to look at 1.5 million for 6 months, maybe. And that's a hard maybe. And that's understanding that, like, if you were going to try and do a national magazine ad buy and do it regionally, you'd probably be at 85,000 per full page ad in like an Essence, Marie Claire kind of level. And that's not rate card. That's me driving a hard bargain by just doing top cities. If you paid rate card, it'd be 150,000 per page. And everybody wants to see that ad, but is it really going to get you, like, it's a whole thing. I digress. In order to support that sale, and that's if you can come up with the dollars to be able to create your product at the length of time, like you're going to have product into them in July for a September launch, which means you have to think backward on when you have to produce that much product. And if you're looking at 1,000 stores case quantity per product and you're launching with 6 products, you know your cost of goods. Think backward from there. So you're raising a fundraise to be able to get to Target with the hope that you have the ability to have sell-through to keep in Target. So you got to be able to sell through, because they're not pushing it for you once it gets on shelf. They're like, yay, you made it. Thank you. Let us know.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Your sell-through is good. We'll re-up. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be on an end cap with a yellow tag. Because then your mama's going to call you and be like, baby, they got you on clearance already. It's only been 4 weeks or 6 weeks. I'm so sorry. I told everybody at church to go buy it. So great, you have sell-through at 2 stores. You know?
So, but I think, Tauri, you bring up a good point about, or really the context of the conversation is level setting. I see some slightly overwhelmed faces on this screen here. So I think I would love.
Target's your 5-year plan.
Yes.
Not your 1-year plan. It's okay if it's
talk to us about patience.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Talk to us a little bit more about patience. Talk to us about, at this stage, what is the focus at this stage? You've talked to so many companies, you've seen people struggle, everything feels urgent. At this stage, when you're sub 100K, what should you be doing?
I adore Etsy. People don't love it, but here's what the beauty of Etsy is that there's a bunch of people looking for what you have on Etsy. It's a fenced off area where you can run your ads within Etsy and get sell through. Right now I'm mentoring the #1 soap brand on Etsy. $6 a bar. They sold $485,000 worth of soap last year. Soapy Faith. It's 3 sisters and that's with no dedicated site of their own and no D2C site. That is just through Etsy. And so they figured they were going to hunker down and figure out Etsy, and that would be now they're trying to go D2C and actually doing a Shopify and a rebrand and so on and so forth. And they started in the kitchen. I think there's a great place. I think everybody that we saw last year that was at the farmers markets, we have a farmers market community here in Austin. Get you a spot, get you a table, and get real-time response to how people like your product. You're going to touch and feel more people that will happily tell you it's trash at the farmers market. You can do a lot of ideating and a lot of testing because you're going to be back next week. So you can make those changes during the week and come back and get more information the next week. I think the other beauty of it is that we are in a place where we do have resources like this. Like you can get in touch with a Whole Foods buyer and actually meet with them possibly in person, which is amazing, and get 3 stores, get your local Whole Foods, because you can actually, you yourself, be the person there in store. I think those are really good. I love the online stuff, but if you get a retailer online, you're still going to have to sell through there as well. But if you've done your time and you've built community and following, then you have actually somebody to reach out to. Because ideally what you want is to be able to send an email blast and be like, hey, we're in Blue Mercury. Hey, we're on Thrive Market. Hey, we are wherever that is, and have your fans and followers be like, yay, let's go get them and support them. So I think those smaller retailers and really blowing it out in those also gives you a better story when you're going to bigger retailers and when you're trying to bridge those stories, so that then when you are pitching somewhere else, you're saying, oh my gosh, we started in 3 Whole Foods, then they took us to all the major markets in Texas. We are the number 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, we're the 2, 3, or 4 tofu-based ice cream. I'm making that up because I won't leave anybody out. Tofu-based ice cream in Whole Foods, and everybody loves us, and we're in all of these restaurants and blah, 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 blah. Then you have a story to tell, right? You have not only a story to tell to pitch, but you also have a story to tell when you are trying to raise funds and raise dollars. So
win at local.
Yes,
Yeah.
win at local, and where it's easier for you to tell people to do it, right? Like you can get the help here. You can, like, everybody will go to Blue Grocery, Royal Blue, and help you out here because everybody's walking past one. Win at home, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, well, let's open it up. I'm sure you guys have lots of questions for Tauri. So who wants to go first?
I have a question off the bat, based on you having so much experience in really crowded industry. Beauty and menstrual care is similar, that it's really crowded and very competitive. And being you brought so many brands to market, how did you differentiate, or do you have any advice on entering into those crowded industries?
Super strong marketing. Like, be really clear about your brand aesthetic, your brand proposition, and don't be afraid to be disruptive on shelf. So be really clear about it. Who is it that you want to connect to, and what's the most powerful way you can connect with them, right? So it's like, there's a lot of natural brands that are like, oh, we're natural, so that means we have to have everything has to be shot in sort of a sepia tone and everything is cream and green. Well, the downside of that is that everything on shelf is cream and green. How can you pop? Don't be afraid to be bold in your brand aesthetic, because that's going to be memorable. It's also going to be easier to find. Now, mind you, I haven't seen your brands, and if anybody is cream and green, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. After I said that, I was like, recall those words. I can't recall that email. And my whole living room is cream and green. I get it.
You can't walk it back now, Tauri. You said it.
I know, I said it. I'm an ass. But I think it's okay to decide to be disruptive on shelf. That can be with the shape of your packaging, that can be with the colors that you use, that can be with your naming, that could be with your fonts. Something that is like disruptive, because everybody's going to need to find you, but then also be super clear with what your brand proposition is.
Okay.
So people need to be able to look at it and get, oh, okay, this is a healthy tampon. This one, I'm not gonna die. I have no opportunity to die with this one.
Totally.
Has everyone gone to the store and visualized where you would be on the shelf and how you would look against that set? Has everyone done that?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
actually why for my brand, we've gone with black, because no one's really using black right now.
Yeah.
Black and white. I did have a question for Tauri. So I have a lot of different ideas, a lot of different SKUs and stuff, and different directions that I want to take the brand in. What's your advice on formulation, on like SKU development early in the early stage? Because like at this point I can have 20 different products that I can make, but I know that's not sustainable at all to build a good brand.
Catalog all of your ideas, write them down, keep them in a notebook that is in a special place on the shelf. Sell the hell out of your hero product and make it the best of that. And it's okay if you have all of those ideas. You can so easily spend your time on the thing you really love to do and not develop all of the other skills that are necessary to be a phenomenal founder. And I get it, because I have a million ideas too, and it's like, oh, nobody's made a what was my last one? Nobody's made something for back acne. I don't have back acne, y'all. Don't look at me sideways. That can spray upside down. Somebody needs to make that. I don't know why I was thinking this, but it's like, that's a great idea. I don't have a brand right now, so I can just write it. It's written on a whiteboard and it's in my office for if and when I ever do that. It's okay, keep that, but be so clear about what your brand offers and only do things that are that, right? And I think, are you the one that was like, we have some body care things, we have some things for lifestyle?
Yes.
You need a,
Yes.
The difficulty with that is that if you are going to look at a retailer, you're talking to multiple buyers then, right? Harder to get in store with multiple buyers, because also if you are trying to get into a retailer, you're looking at shelf space. And you can't have a body care next to a consumable because they're in different places. Yeah. So most stores, like an Ulta, is going to give you half shelf or a full shelf. So you need to know how many products you can fit into that. So be concise. And that's not to say all of your ideas aren't marketable and award-winning and perfect. It's just, are they all where you should be spending time and money right now? Because from a, and mind you, I haven't looked at your site, I don't know your stuff, but if I were prepping you for fundraising, I'd be like, right now, the first thing an investor is going to do is say, what can we win at and what can we save? And so look at what you can win at and win at one thing really, really hard. Shaz and Kicks was in SKU, I guess, 2 years ago. They are an Ayurvedic hair product. They launched with a product in 2 formulas. They launched with a pre-wash that they had a coarse kinky hair one and like a thin hair version. They launched with 2 products and like had amazing sell through. And then next year started another product. And then a year later had another product. Like they slowly did that because they were able to win. Ooh, we got all these questions. I'm so excited. Who's next?
Yeah, Connie, go ahead.
Oh, I had I guess we're kind of in a weird place right now with the company. It's been about 15 months since we've started selling product. We launched on viral TikTok, i.e. free marketing. And so that went a little bit well to start with. I've gotten advice to just dive in the D2C. You know, I was also thinking, let's get into retail ASAP, but I got advice from actually a VC to not do that. He said, you need to build your brand first. And then kind of similarly, I was working with some MBA students and we did a lot of testing with the customers, and everybody cared about, like, we thought they cared about the sustainability. They don't. They care about the comfort. They don't want it to feel like a thinks, plastic swimsuit that you have to wear, and ours doesn't. And so it's hard to sell comfort online, so I guess it's kind of a weird question about building a brand before and like how long to wait, and then with that USP, I mean, does that make sense?
I think the way that a couple of things. I think the way that you sell comfort online is through video, period. Not period. End of sentence. I think that's required. So one, I do think you can sell comfort visually. I think video is required. I think that the right small retailers are the right place to be for a product that you have like a clear, you have competitors, but you have a clear advantage over those competitors, because anytime people can feel the difference and they're like, oh, well, this feels like a diaper, this feels like I want to wear it. Duh. Right? It's like, okay, I'm spitballing here, but are you the period panty that you could wear on a date? Right? It's like, we don't want the period panty. Okay, you guys, Madhu, just earmuffs that girls do this.
No worries. I'm a grown up.
If anybody else had a hoe stage in college where they might have had to have worn a pair of period panties, but then hooked up with a guy and took them off and like threw them or put them in their purse or threw them away at a bar, like this is the period panty that you could, like, if it's the last pair, you could actually wear, or like you could wear comfortably around your boyfriend or husband or partner or girlfriend too, or all of your friends, your they friends. It's like that can be conveyed in a really cool way. And maybe it's also then, so I think retail could work if it's the right retail. I would keep it small. I would also be really clear about who your audience is. And to me, it's like, depending on what your messaging is, you're very clearly going to like carve out who the audience is. And I would go after them hardcore and allow everybody else to be influenced by that. So, and this is also to say, like, when I was at TG, I was a part of a Unilever brand, but I didn't have Unilever money. So I wasn't a Dove. I didn't have God's money to sell the world soap. I had tiny brand money. And so as a lifestyle brand, what I was always trying to do was to reach the cool kids and then let that filter to everyone else. And my thought process then was, how can I influence the cool kids with the coolest hair in every town? And then everyone else will buy the same hairspray they're using. So to me, it's like, if you can have a really clear idea of who you want to reach, right? It's like, are you the period panty, the stylish period panty that's comfortable, that like I actually want to wear to a Pilates class? It's like, okay, then it's the influencer in that space. So it's the it girl's period panty, and then everybody else does what she does, right? We all buy the bags she buys. We wear the shoes she wears. We buy the Zara version of what she bought at retail. So let's buy, if our alignment is that we can wear the same period panty and buy the same perfume, then let's be that. And that's probably an easier way to win, because you can win with a smaller group a lot faster than you can attempting to be that for everybody. And I don't even know if you're trying to be that for everybody.
That helps. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Madhu, you're next.
Tauri, before the question, first of all, I can't imagine why either you're not a multi-bazillionaire already or you're the CEO of Unilever. because everything you're spitballing, you're super funny, and things that you're talking about just off the top of your head are like viral marketing videos. I can just envision that. So that's super cool to even just have the opportunity to chit chat with you and like get so much cool energy. So question for you. What suggestion do you have for like for, we are literally in a holding pattern with talking to a big retailer for I believe either 10 or 11 months. And I've worked with big accounts before in my previous life, where it's taken me 2 to 2.5 years. But that's when, you know, I had a job and I was getting a paycheck to sit in a holding pattern. Now we are just like there, and you know, I understand the patience part, but where are generally in the buyer's land of things, 10 months, 11 months, they're just dragging us on. We've filled out the new item forms. Everything has been discussed and done. We're now waiting for the launch. So do you have any suggestions on that?
Get your money up so you're ready for them when you get there.
Hmm.
But also keep on your grind. So it's like having a big retailer doesn't mean you can't be pushing your D2C in the meantime. It also doesn't mean like, are you currently selling on Amazon?
No, we're not.
Why?
Because the nature of our product, and I do have Amazon ideas, which are that are not cold chain, that are not you know perishable items.
Okay. Yeah.
So we check both the boxes, and literally note to self is never start a beverage brand again, never start a cold chain beverage again, and that is perishable. But we're trying to drive home, as you were saying earlier through your when you started talking about we're not doing something that's easy, and if it was easy everybody would be doing it, right? There would be 20 Ferraris parked in my street. However, you know, we're trying to bring something good for people, which is perishable is a good thing, and not to be afraid of something that that has a short shelf life. It's better for you. It's that much more good for you. So it is a lot of pain and suffering to be able to bring that message and that product to the consumer.
I think look for the ways that you can be innovative in the space.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also like, how can we cost effectively bring this to more people? What are the ways to do that? And what are the other touch points? And also, how can we just sell the hell out of it everywhere that it is now? Right?
Right. Yeah.
So how can we get in touch with more people? Like, we're in Austin. Does every chai drinker in Austin know your name?
No, unfortunately not yet.
So how do we, like, I'm assuming you're South Asian. That's a big assumption.
Yeah, I'm from India. Loud and proud.
It's like, so all of your cousins in Austin need to know that this is the best chai for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're driving the message through the local communities. In fact, we just partnered with a local Bollywood dance company. Perfect. And we did a little chai party for the company that built our website. We have a little video on our social. Everybody loved doing a little Bollywood dance, drinking some chai. We're going to be doing some other Southeast Asian events as well in Austin. So those are all lined up. On that note, when I first started the brand, I always had like I want to place our product in a unique situation, not just like head to Target, head to, you know, the big retailers where there are 5 million other beverages. Now, you have a lot of experience with the beauty market. What if I were to approach Ulta for a premium extra experience where, hey, people come to your store to buy cosmetics, why not have some beverage in there? Do you think there's a scope for that?
So you're going to have to get them to have cold refrigerators at the checkout. So
Mhm.
that's a jump because it requires them buying infrastructure.
Mhm.
But I would look at everybody who does have cold refrigeration at their checkout. The other thing I would do is I would, if I were you, absolutely reach out to Shaz and Kix, because Shaz is here in Austin.
Mhm.
Kiku is in Dallas. What are the, like, every Indian brand, can you be the chai they're serving at their events?
Mm.
Because somebody's got to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, I would also be in every Indian grocery store.
It is a challenging affair when they
Absolutely.
can make the same chai right on the spot, and they
Yep.
they don't see they absolutely have approached Indian grocery stores here, and they say, we can't even sell the chai that we're making fresh over here. Why do you think your bottle is going to get on the shelf? So there's a
So
little.
what happens when all of your Indian cousins are coming in asking if they sell it?
Yeah, that's true. So through
Yeah.
the social community and other things
Yeah.
that we are building, that where people actually appreciate. And
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
one of the biggest feedbacks we've gotten from the Indian community is, I am lazy. If I can buy chai off the shelf, I don't want to be making it at home, especially the second generation of American Indian or people who grew up here. They're like, I don't even know how to make chai. If my mom is not home, I'm not making chai. So
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
that's definitely our market
Yeah.
that we're trying to capture as well.
Absolutely. No, let's grab coffee. I'm sure I have 10 ideas that we can.
Absolutely. Let's grab chai.
Yes.
Yes, and coffee.
I'm like, we don't have to grab it. You can bring it. No,
Yes, I'll bring it.
We have-
Definitely.
We just have a couple of minutes left, so I just want to make sure we have a
I'm
little
happy
bit
to
of time for
stay
everyone
on for a
here.
couple of minutes if you have a couple.
Okay.
Of minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Brittany, why don't you go next?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for your time, first and foremost. I truly appreciate your gems, also echoing Madhu. But I wanted to pick your brain a bit on the beauty industry as a whole. I'm super interested in trends and research as well. Where do you see the beauty industry going in 2022 or even 2023? What are you mapping out or feeling from your end?
I think that I see a trend toward more and more Ayurvedic based like products. I think we there's a trend toward like recognizing what natural science has brought us and like what our ancestors figured out a long time before us. So I think Ayurvedic based formulations, but I think African based formulations, Guyanese based formulations specifically, are starting to make some headway. And I think that Brazil and South America is probably the next wave of that as well. But I think there's always going to be a push towards sustainable ingredients with that. I think at the same time, pharmaceutical grade ingredients is always going to be really interesting. I also think that there's a turn toward being more simplistic in what I think sort of this is the response to the pendulum swinging to the like 100 million step Korean skincare. I think, you know, people are swinging toward more simplistic skincare. I think is the response. And I think it's going to be with I think like slugging is a perfect example of like, how can we do what our grandmas did to like get back to what we love, right? Like what made them beautiful? How can we be more simplistic? I think that's going to be one big thing. Pharmaceutical grade. That's really all I've seen. I think innovation, I think where we are right now is we're recognizing that innovation got stagnant through the pandemic. And now we're sort of seeing we're reaping the benefits of that because everybody was sitting still and at home for a while. But I'd say
Bindu?
Okay,
So I wanted to, with my product, it's of course frozen dumplings, and there's comes challenges with that, and my sauce is not shelf life stable yet. Hopefully it will be, we'll see. And then I'm such a, I just started the business mid last year. So in terms of like media presence, I sometimes don't even know where to start. I'm trying, but I don't, there's so much to do behind the scenes, being it a frozen product, and I'm trying to also locally source um, the ingredients, including the spices, bring them in from Nepal as much as I can. There's so much element behind the scene. I would like to be the face of the brand, but what advice do you have for somebody, that's small, that's starting out, that's in my stage, to take advantage of just every little thing I can?
Be okay with the things that you can't take advantage of.
Okay.
Like, you still have to care for yourself,
Yeah.
right? So part of the program I'm running right now, I have a mentor who works with every single founder in my cohort. We have 10 companies and 17 founders. And one of the things we're consistently talking about is how do you decompress and how do you care for yourself as a founder? Because the founder's journey is a marathon. It is not a race. And it's like an ultra marathon. Ultra marathons are 50 to 100 miles, right? So it's like a double marathon. You have to prep yourself for a double marathon. In a regular marathon, there are water tables. In an ultra marathon, you are consuming calories and drinking the entire race. How can you care for yourself so that you can make it to the end of the race? And then you have to be conscious that if you're a woman or a person of color in this country, you have an exorbitant amount of stress that white men in this country simply do not have, because the world was set up and all of our systems were set up for their success and not our success. And so we are jumping over hurdles that they don't even know they threw in our paths, on top of the fact that then we've all chosen to not just have a 9-to-5 and a comfortable life, right? So it's like you're doing the journey that most white men don't choose because it's really hard. And then you're doing it with the roadblocks, hurdles, and, spikes and all of the booby traps that they didn't even realize they set for us, because they were simply setting up a world that was created for them to get the furthest. That sounds like I'm hating on them, but they were just singularly focused, y'all. And that's fine. That is what it is. However, in that, we know that we have more to do to get there. So prioritize, like figure out the way to prioritize what's the highest need and the highest priority. Do those things first. What's the lowest need and lowest priority? And be really true with yourself on what's the lowest need and lowest priority. Because some of us are ignoring the things that we don't like doing and assuming, like pretending they're low priority, but like you got to pay your taxes, right? Like you can pretend it's a low priority, but it's still a high priority, just because you don't want to do it. So it's like, what can you put into that box that you can do later, or that you can simply allow to not happen? And be okay with that, because you have to make it to the finish line. And we want you to make it to the finish line multiple times. Like, this is your first business, I'm assuming, because you you look like a baby, and that in the kindest way. Like, your skin is beautiful.
Thank you.
Also recognize that, like, it's okay if, and eventually one of the companies, if you build 5 companies in your lifetime, not all of them are going to be billion-dollar companies. Some of them you're going to be like, I'm making this exit, I'm saving $30 in my bank account, and it's fine. I'll regroup.
Yeah.
Fine. As Madhu said, like, don't do something that can be like, next time we won't do cold beverages. Great. If that's the lesson you learn and you level up as a founder, then you can find that as your success metric for this this part of your journey, but find the way to allow yourself to make it through the marathon and be okay with it. You are the right face for your company because it's you. Like nobody else gets to tout the work that you've done, but also nobody else is going to authentically be able to sell what it is that you have. So like be super confident in that, and do all the things that you can do, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, just, it's okay. It's okay. Because sometimes we're going to beat ourselves up about the thing that we didn't do. Listen, there's an investor dinner I ain't made it to yet in 6 months. And I might not ever make it because I also want to snuggle with my kids on Tuesday night and eat Chipotle. And that's okay because that keeps me going. And it's going to be okay if I don't make that thing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I want some dumplings.
I'll bring you some.
Tauri, if you burn your life down to the ground, you won't die. I've done it 3 times. You just get better at it. You just get better at getting back up. You get faster at it. There is an art to knowing how to be poor and doing it well while you're running your business, because that means you'll never be scared at being poor and losing everything. That is a skill. You will take that with you forever. So even now, if I burn my life down to the ground right now, it's cool. I know what to do. So that is definitely a lesson to take. You're learning a lot of valuable things right now.
Absolutely.
Trish, Tauri, do you still have like another 5 minutes? Or okay.
I actually just burnt my life down to the ground during COVID and went back to school to get my diploma in organic skincare formulation and started a new brand in the last 2 years. And I'm about to start my hair care course. So I have about 20 SKUs, which is probably insane, but my clients like them all. So I'm trying to narrow it down, and I really suck at marketing, but I'm doing my best, and I'm like trading people to like make pictures and reels and things for me. And I just don't know what to do next. I'm kind of hitting the point where I'm like, people love my products. They just don't know about them yet. So
I think
I don't know where to.
that's the job to be done, right? So how can you cost effectively ensure that everybody who comes to you is bringing someone else to you, right? Because your easiest is if you don't suck at marketing, you just don't know enough about it to do it in a way that's cost effective yet, right? So be kind to yourself. Let's let the people who love what you do be advocates for you and empower them to do that, right? So it's like, what can they take with them? What can they share? And you, like, the beauty of being an esthetician is you're touching them for a long time. They can't go nowhere. They're stuck. You got time.
People who are buying my products, but it's just a small group.
Yeah, but that's fine. Who cares? Like, but if they're buying more and more of your products and they're bringing other people to your products, then I would look at something like there's a luxury shoe brand called Kendall Miles out of Chicago. She and her mom decided they were going to start a luxury footwear brand. Okay, we're going to do luxury Black girl footwear, and it's expensive. I think the low end is $300, the high end is $1,200, and they're made in Italy with all the same manufacturers. Blah 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 blah. Nobody would sell them, so they started doing like home shows. And I can't imagine what the cost of goods on that is, or how many pairs of shoes you have to order to be able to go do like a trunk show in somebody's home. But maybe it's trunk shows. Like, who's your top 3 customers? Are they willing to invite 5 friends over for a trunk show? If you can sell $1,000 worth, or if everybody's willing to buy 3 to 10 products, and your host gets, like, it sounds like old school Mary Kay, but suddenly you don't have one person, you're spending that same time you would spend with one person, but you're getting 5 people to spend exponentially. Now you have 5 advocates who are willing to, and maybe that 5-person show becomes 25 or 50 people, 50 women in a room, and it's catered, and you have a little bar and blah, 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 and somebody's doing nails. It's like, there's a reason why those things worked.
That's a
And
great
now
idea.
now we have 50 advocates that are all super excited about you. And like, that's the one thing we don't get, is we don't get time together just to like be people. So maybe you host that thing, but everybody's also shopping.
That's a great idea.
Trish, I will literally do that at my house. Email
Oh my
me.
God,
I will
thank
do
you.
that at my house and bring people here. And then let's test it. Let's see how it goes. That way, when you do it somewhere else, like you already have your process down, I like email me about that. Let's do that at my house.
That would be great.
I would also say, like, find the people that can give you the marketing help. Like, let's go to lunch. Let's go get coffee. I'll give you some tips or ideas, and at least like you can walk away with some notes on how to structure some things that you can do that aren't going to kill you while you're doing this. But right now, I would say if you have a small, let's get you more advocates, so that way when your social media is popping, you have plenty of people to be like, it's amazing, you got to use this, because those comments are what's going to get you the sell through.
Awesome.
And those shares.
Yeah, I really struggle because of the CBD. So it limits where I can market. Facebook and Instagram think it's a drug.
Yeah.
Amazon. I have a few products that don't have CBD, and I've thought about like really pushing them, but I have a 3-step system, and one of the steps has CBD.
So I know Wildcat just got picked up into Target, not their CBD stuff, the other stuff. I'm like, where's their founder? Maybe reach out and be like, hey, y'all, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Their founders came from Urban Decay, I want to say. But it's like, hey, how'd y'all do it?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell where to sell $100 bottle of face oil. But it's so good. It replaces like 10 things. My clients were sick of the 10-step system, so I made it 3 or 4, but it's expensive.
I would also, I mean, you are an esthetician. I would talk to all the other estheticians.
Yeah.
Get them retailing it. Because if they're
Yeah,
selling something that's not as good, then yeah.
I know. I've been really trying to get, estheticians are hard. I need to probably just like go to them and talk to them individually instead of just, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people say no a lot less when face to face, right?
Yeah.
It's real hard to look at somebody's face and be a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madhu is
All right,
right.
McKenna.
If there's an esthetician, if there's an association or something to that effect that you can network with, absolutely.
That's a really good idea. Thank you.
And there's plenty of spa associations.
Oh yeah.
McKenna?
Well, thank you so far for the super juicy brew crew. I love it. So much good advice. Just following up on when you were talking about some of the retail, things, can you expand more on what your thoughts are with online retailing and platforms like RangeMe, or also what do you think about those like retail accelerators? Like Katrina mentioned, the Target accelerator or something like that.
I think they're literally, the retail accelerators are designed to help you get into those retailers. So if you can get into them, do it. And if they're going to give you money, take their money. Sure. Like, get into their network, learn all of the things, because the Sephora accelerator is designed to help you be able to launch in Sephora. Absolutely. Go do it. And if nothing else, apply for it and make those connections. And recognize that the first time you apply, you might not be ready for it, but data mine them for feedback. So it's, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, so sad we didn't make it. What do you like about our brand? What do you want to see us do? What do you see our opportunity being? What do you think we need to grow to be ready for you? What would you like to see before we apply next year? Because no isn't no. No is there's a reason and you got to ask for the reason. Everybody's afraid to give you the reasons, but if you like happily say, hey, we want to know what it is that we need to do, then there's so many gems and treasures you can find there. They might tell you that, hey, we're seeing a lot of, there's a lot of congestion in this area, and we see a lot of companies doing exactly what you do, which might give you the information you need to make a pivot that you never would have known. You could have been out there like running in one direction and not known that there was a small pivot you could make, and it would totally change everything. So data mine every no. What else did you ask me? I don't remember.
It was about like the well, great answer, but also like the online retailing platforms like Range Me.
Do I know what Range Me is?
It's like Drive Market.
Oh, girl, do
Well,
it.
no, it's like yeah, you just post your product on there, and then a bunch of retailers can see it, and then it's like, you know.
I think you do it. What I want is I would rather you start a relationship with a retailer you're not ready for and say, oh my gosh, you're our dream retailer. Right now, we are really focusing on smaller retailers and we're trying to build. Can we keep an ongoing relationship with you? They're going to be like, what? Really? That's the smartest thing anybody said in 6 months. I would rather you be there and have those relationships and be able to foster those relationships until you're ready for them, or be able to pick what's the best thing for you, right? But that's also going to give you opportunity to learn. So absolutely do it. I would not go into more than one major retailer a year unless you have a really robust investment portfolio to be able to support it, because you're still going to have to support the sell through in any of those.
Yeah. And I love the data mining the no. That's such a good reminder to do that. Thank you.
Listen, and don't be afraid of it. Don't.
McKenna, quick feedback on Range Me. When they first started, everything was free. Now it's become a game where you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for visibility, for you to get on there, and for companies, the big boys, to look at you. And that makes it very difficult for a small brand where the budget is very tight. I took a deep dive into Range Me and decided not to do it at this stage. It could be, it's kind of like one of those ECRM shows, which are 5, 6, I don't know, back in the days, they were $6,000 per person, per company. And you'll end up spending thousands of dollars for visibility. So just be cautious about, create a profile, put your stuff on there, as long as it's free, or maybe, $20 a month, $30 a month, which still adds up, but keep the dollars in check with them.
Well, and just decide if, like, is that your next move? Is the retailer the thing that you really want next? If it's not, then does that make sense? And is that the shortcut between you and getting into those retailers? You might do better with someone helping you sell into retailers that's actually connected to, and negotiate everything. So like if you go meet with a salesperson, they're like, oh, we want you to pay us $3,000 a month to sell you. You can be like, oh my God, we don't have that. How do you feel about $1,000 a month and a higher commission structure? We can't pay you anything, but we can give you a higher commission structure. Hell, we'll give you a whole lot those first 3 months. If they're hungry, they'll take it. If they're not, then they might not sell you anyway. So fine, they're not the one, they're not the right fit. But I know people that have negotiated all sorts of things, and it's just because they asked.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Tori, thank you.
So amazing. Okay, I put my Twitter and my email into the chat. Feel free to reach out via email. I'm local. I'm here in Austin. I like to get out of my kitchen, and I will happily go to coffee. And yeah, let's chat. Let's do the things.
Hey,
Also,
Tori, can you tell everyone about your program and applications?
The program I run is called TXO. It is with Andreessen Horowitz. Andreessen is a monstrously huge venture capital fund. Talent Times Opportunity is looking for founders who are building a company based on a cultural insight. Like recognizing that once your parents go home for 6 months, you probably don't want to make your own chai. That's a cultural insight, and building a company around that. What we give is $100,000 in exchange for 7% of the equity in your company. What you get is 20 weeks of education, as well as a connection with the Andreessen. What I like to say is I unlock the Andreessen network. So literally everybody we know, you suddenly know. And so I have a debt relief tech company that I just, their latest mentor is the former general manager of Stripe Italy. So I kind of make crazy connections like that. But we also have a suite of partnerships from Amazon and Pinterest and Google and TikTok and everybody else known to man that we also give our founders. And we create a community that's ongoing. And so our founders have assistance and help ongoing throughout their journey. You are welcome to apply. We typically have between 1,000 and 2,000 companies apply for each cohort. We're doing between 10 and eventually about 30 per cohort. I will put this link in the chat. If you apply, let me know that you apply, and in the I will make sure we have a meeting and go through everything and you understand all the dynamics of everything. We have companies that are at $500,000 and up a year. We have worked with companies that haven't made $1 yet, that are like pre-product. So we work with companies in the full range. So yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you for being here, Tauri.
Thank you. It was so awesome talking to y'all. I loved it. Y'all got me energized today.
Well, I really appreciate everyone here, all your questions, being open. That's what Brew Crew is all about. So thank you so much for investing in yourself, and happy weekend.
Have a great one. Get all that you can out of this. It's so valuable.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.